So paper 2, May, June 2019. Yeah, family life is not always a positive experience for individuals.
Okay. Family life is not always a positive experience for individuals. The dark side of family life and empty shell marriage are two good examples of this. Family life can be made more positive by changes to maternal and paternal roles as well as to family structures. What is meant by term empty shell marriage?
When I talk about empty shell marriage, it means both couples are still living together, but they don't have love or affection for each other anymore. They still live together, but there's no love and affection. That's what we call an empty shell family. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to question 2.
Describe two paternal roles in the family.
We're talking about paternal roles. I was talking about the roles of the father in the family. One is instrumental role. That means the head of the family, which means he takes charge of decision making. And second role is protector role. Protector role. That means the father makes sure that he takes care of the family. He protects them.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes.
And look after them. It's still the same thing. So we'll go to
C.
Yes.
Explain how the extended family exists in different forms today.
So when we talk about extended family, we're talking about additional to that nuclear family. The nuclear family, which is the father, the mother, and the children. Extended consists of the grandparents, your siblings, your cousins, your nephews, and the rest. So one of the reasons why we have different form of extended family is one, modified extended family. Why do we call it modified? I said, here, we call it modified because they are far away from you, but with the help of technology, you keep in touch every now and then.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that means you're not far away. So they could reach you at any point in time. That means you can still get related, you can still talk about things. It's just like you are just together based on the fact that there's technology.
Yeah.
That's a modified extended family. Then the second one, all relatives sharing a household under one roof, under one unit. So you have a whole house. Then you are staying in the first floor, the second family is staying in the second floor, the third family. They are nuclear family, but they are staying under the same roof. So that means they are still extended. Yeah. So that means extended family exists in such family. Do you get the second point there?
Yes.
The third point is several nuclear families living close to each other. So this is your dad's house, and your uncle's house might be just nearby here. Your aunt's house might be nearby here. That means you guys are still living close to each other.
Yeah.
Is it happening or not?
It is.
So that's also extended family. Is it clear?
Yeah. They explain why living alone has become more common for individuals in modern industrial societies.
So when I talk about living alone, we're talking about living your separate way. So how has this become a commonplace? How has it become relevant in this society? Number one, I said, living alone has become more common for individuals in modern industrial societies based on the following is one. Women now work, which means they can simply choose the kind of life they want. Women, it's not necessary that they live with men anymore because they are working. They are doing paid jobs. So they have financial security. So they can choose to live alone. Do you get the first point there?
Yes.
Okay. 2, rise in divorce, which means we have a lot of single divorcees. So that means a lot of people are living alone.
Yeah.
The third point is about feminism. Feminists, they encourage women being independent.
Yeah.
As a result of that, women feel they don't need patriarchy. They don't need men to give them the kind of security they need.
Yeah.
So feminism encourages independence for women. So they choose to stay alone because they feel they have authority over themselves.
Yeah.
And the last point I wrote about is marriage and children, which are no longer social expectations. These days, nobody cares if you are married. Nobody cares if you don't give birth to children. So you might choose not to stay with people. Before the modern industrial era, then the traditional era, it is important for women to get married. It is important for women to have children. So that is the expectation of the society. But these days, it's not like that.
That's not something.
It's not something. it's normal.
Yeah.
If you don't want to give birth to children,
It
you
is
don't
your
want to.
choice.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
So it is not part of social expectation anymore. So that makes it easier for people to feel like they want to be single.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
It's clear. E.
Yes.
To what extent are families functional for individuals and society?
We'll talk about the family function. The family is function first through reproduction. It's through the family that they give birth to children, the next generation that will survive, that will make them to survive. So as a result of that, it means that we can pass on our role, our culture, our tradition to the next generation, which is a functional role of family.
Yeah.
Do you get the point there?
Yes.
And having a family encourages you to have children. You know, the word family, the word family encourages children. So that was the first point. The second point is about socialization. It is the family that puts the children on how to behave in the society, on how to conform in the society. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So that means the family is functional.
Yeah.
Is it clear? The third point here, I wrote, nuclear family performs family function best through gender roles. The nuclear family, that's the father, the mother, and the children, they perform the best way to, you know, to put child in order, especially the gender roles, because the father will be so attached to the child, to the son child, so as it becomes a sort of mentor to him on what he has become and wanting him to be better than what he is right now. And the mom also like put the girl child through all those things that will make her to become a better lady in the future. So that means the family is functioning. Yeah. Is it clear? Very clear. We go to yeah, I wrote the last one here. I wrote about social control. Yeah, the family shaped the way in which children can conform to society. Social control. Yeah, they tell you what to do, what not to do in the society. So go to
section B, education.
Yeah.
Sociologists debate the reasons why some individuals do better in education than others. Anti-school subcultures and family background are two explanations that are often considered. Schools have introduced programs such as positive discrimination to try and make school a better experience for all. A, what is meant by the term positive discrimination?
For positive discrimination, this is just a process whereby those that are from a disadvantaged background are given special treatment to cover up for the disadvantage they have in the society. So they are coming from a minority group and they are in school. But so the school gives them some special treatment so that they don't feel that they are from the minority group. That is positive discrimination. Is it clear?
Very clear. Be described two sociological reasons why children go to school.
So children go to school to learn the necessary knowledge and skills for the society. That was number one. Two, to be socialized with the norms of the society, the norms and values of the society. Okay. We'll go to C.
Explain how anti-school subcultures Explain how anti-school subcultures can affect educational achievement.
One, for anti-school subculture is still part of subcultures. So here I said, anti-school subcultures can affect educational achievement through the following way. One, these subcultures reject the rules and values of the school. They are anti-school. They are against the rules and values of the school, which means those who go with those rules, those who go through that subcultures, logically would achieve low educational achievements, will achieve low in education. Because whatever they stand for is against the values and the norms of school. So you cannot succeed without, because the school has its norms and values, but you are doing against it. How do you want to succeed? The second point, teacher labeling. So there's also problems from the teachers. Sometimes we teacher will label children, we label students negatively. Then as a result of that, there's what we call self-fulfilling prophecy. Like they achieve low in education. Oh, he cannot achieve anything because he's from the minority group. Or he doesn't do what he should do in the class. So he's not going to achieve any success. So teacher says this, and the child hears this, and he fulfills that prophecy of not achieving. So that's about teacher labeling. So you see, sociology is not just about the students, it's also about the teacher. So teachers should not negatively label students.
Mm.
The second point, the third point, right?
Mm.
So that's all about. Oh yeah, the third point. These subcultures are linked to peer group, making it difficult to resist and therefore lead to low achievement in education. We cannot talk about anti-school subculture without the peer group, because the peer group is based on the anti-school subculture, right? So because it's through the peer group, it's difficult for you to resist your friends because you are used to them and they are part of those that form the anti-school subculture. So it becomes difficult for you to disengage them. And because of you disengage, if you cannot disengage them, if you cannot resist them, it means you're going to achieve low in education like they're going to achieve too.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Any question about that?
No.
Then we'll go to D.
Explain why schools are not functional for all students.
Yes. School should be functioning, but schools, here they said, school might not be functional for all students. Why? One, I wrote, schools are not functional to all students based on the following is one, feminist. For feminists, they argue that school is basically beneficial to males than females. And this can be linked to different activities that goes around in schools that favors boys than girls. Is it true?
Yes.
Okay, great. She said yes. Two, Marxists believe schools benefit higher class rather than lower class. For the Marxists, they believe school benefit those in the higher class than the lower class. So why did Marxists say this? They believe that the kids of the higher class, the kids from the higher class background have opportunity to and have accessibility to a lot of educational materials that those in the lower class do not have. That is according to Marxists. That's the second point. I talked about feminists. Now I talked about Marxists, right?
Yeah.
Now the third point is about the teachers. Today we are talking about teachers. Okay, teachers stereotyping and labeling. So here I wrote teachers stereotyping and labeling means some students may not be well thought of. You know, teachers have labeled them as not useful. This makes them to always think negatively. So the child now, I mean, because whatever you say, one way, directly or indirectly, the student will hear. Then you start thinking negatively about the meaning of school. Do you understand that? School doesn't even have any meanings to me. So as a result, he or she is going to achieve low in education. Yeah. And this is because the teacher. So that means the school is not functioning. That's the third point. And the last one I talked about here is schools themselves. Schools have been accused of institutional racism. Here, they segment children from the minority group, from the minority ethnic group. So they don't have access like the majority ethnic group. Do you get the point or not? Yeah. So things favor mostly the students from the majority group. That is why we have positive discrimination. Yeah. To make it up for. So if there's no positive discrimination, then the minority group might be worse off. Yeah. So that affects the function of school. Do you have any question about that? Is that the last thing?
I still have E.
E, no, okay.
To what extent
yes, thank you.
To what extent does family background influence educational achievement?
So what the question is saying is, how as family, the kind of family you come from, has impact in your educational achievement. So here I wrote, family background influences educational achievement based on the following reasons. Number one, material factors. So when we talk about material factors, children from a very rich background would not suffer for material deprivation like those from the poor background. So those from the poor background will suffer for material deprivation, which means they lack the resources that will make them to achieve educational excellence. So that was the first point. Do you get the point?
Yes.
So, minority students. What happens to minority students? I wrote, minority students might be taught in a language that they don't understand because they are minority students. So, if they are coming to an environment that is basically for the majority, so the school will be, language there will be taught in the majority language. So, this might reduce, this might mean that those from the minority background or ethnic group do not understand the lessons well because they are not being taught in their own language. So that might make them to achieve less in education. Do you get it or not? The third point, gender roles. Girls may be socialized by seeing their roles in the future in terms of marriage and children, not in terms of education. So that means to them, education is not important. So their background is being influenced by what they feel about their future. Oh, I want to get married and get to bed. That's all. Yeah. So I don't need a career. You get the point. And the last one, the absence of successful role models. So in a family, there might not be people that you can point out at that, oh, this is my brother, he has succeeded in education, this is what he is now. This is my aunt, she has succeeded in education, this is what she has become. So you lack, there's absence of role models that have successfully finished their education or that have achieved in education. Yeah. So because you don't have them, so as a child growing up, you don't have anybody to look up to. That might make you to feel like education is not important. It doesn't have, it doesn't go, it's not impactful to my own will. So they have achieved without even education. So why am I stressing about education? Yeah. Is it clear? Yeah. Any question about it? No. How is the class? Very good. Wow.